Hi guys, good evening, noon, morning to everyone. This is weekly Forex review and forecast for the week starting on 11th of September 2017. My name is Vladimir Ribakov, if you still don't know who I am. If this is the first time you are watching this video, then welcome, of course. I would like to start the video with sending some prayers, some good positive thoughts and energies to people from California and from the Caribbeans, experiencing what they have the last several days. We all hope, of course, that things will get better for everyone, not just there, of course, for everyone, everywhere, for whatever the reason is. If it's all the political stories, and if it's just personal things happening, or if it's the mother nature that keeps surprising us time by time with its power. So let's just all together pray for better time and hope that people stay safe and better days to come. So let's go back to the charts, and we have plenty of nice opportunities happening this week, so I would want to go over them and build setups. I will start with a quick follow-up from the previous week, as there are several pairs that are moving very nicely. First of them is the New Zealand and Canadian. As I said on previous week, there are no reasons to stop selling, and I don't see these reasons yet this week as well. There is a very good chance we are going lower. According to weekly chart, we are going all the way to the bottom of this range, which means it still has plenty of place to go. And just want to remind you that if it's the correction of the monthly cycle that we have here, let me quickly draw the line for you guys. We have this double, and we have 1, 2, 3 here in a range, so that could be also the bottom of this range. And if this is a triple, there is a good chance, well, first of all, 38.2 of this double cycle, which is here, that's 0.84, and the triple is 0.80. 50% correction of the triple cycle is 0.80. Okay, let's continue then. Okay, so this is the New Zealand and Canadian. Our levels according, let's take a look on the crystal ball. Like for buy, irrelevant for us. Well, we have the dates. Right, we don't have the setup, basically. No false breaks, nothing yet. Nah, just one bounce. Our plan was to remain sells. Let's remove that. Our next levels would be here. Okay, so we can sell rallies. And our sell zones are considered to be the action zones we can have on the 4-hour chart and the daily chart coming together on a combo. So for those of you, of course, who are short, you have your longer term targets. Basically what happened is that Canada increased the rate on the previous week, and the boost on the Canadian dollar happened accordingly. We can see all the CAD pairs making some good reliable moves, and that's all. That's the main reason, and probably the only reason. Let's have a look, guys, on the fundamental view here. What we expect from this week. We have CPI, wow, that's an important one, in Britain, which is expected to be high, and this is why we saw the previous week with a bullish run to catch it up. If it will be below than 2.8, there is a very good chance we will see some serious correction on the pound dollar. I will discuss about it when we reach this pair. Average earnings, very important in Britain as well. Wednesday PPI in the US. Crude oil inventories in US. Rate, unemployment rate and employment change in Australia. Industrial production, that's an important one in China. That is going to affect the Pacific pairs. Rates in, wow, that's an interesting one. Rate in the in Swiss, and also the official bank rate votes is expected to be, well, the 7 versus the 2, which means more vote to keep it negative. Now, I just want to remind you, sorry, some time ago, one of the leaders and the central bank in Swiss say that these negative rates are not forever, and the franc gained a real massive strength. If they will decrease the negative rate, which means in other words will go to more positive sign like -half or -1/4, you can expect a very serious very serious boost there, and for the Swiss. Accordingly, if they not, and they will say it's too early to change, then of course it could make the reversal. Okay, then we have the CPI in the US, and core CPI, and retail sales. That's a very important one in the US. Now, as per expectations, the retail sales is expected to drop from 06 to 01, which makes sense with all the latest situations happening in the US, with all the hurricanes. That's what we have there. Okay, let's continue then to the next pairs. Okay, let's continue, guys. Just where's my list here? Dollar Canadian is another one interesting that is most likely going to complete the ABCD it has from the weekly chart, which is here. It crossed through the 61.8, not respecting the bounce here. Well, it did the short bounce, yeah, but most likely we are going to continue all the way down to here. That's below 120, so stay bearish. Every rally should be a good sell opportunity. I believe there is more to come. As for now, there is also nothing to prevent it, so why not? Every rally is a good opportunity to go for a sell. Levels for sell would be considered here. Okay, we have this area, this area. Okay, that's on daily chart, 4-hour chart, basically corresponding. All right, next one. Let's go to the majors, the one I've been asked about 200 times on the last several days. Really, I'm still surprised from time to time how many traders actually trade the euro dollar and why. It is the most tradable pair among traders yet, and I keep wondering why. The euro economy is terrible. It could be in the worst conditions, but it's really far from being normal and good. The US economy is doing good, but the debt and everything have its own risk and the pressure. So why to stick with it? Anyway, euro dollar, basically my view was and remains bearish for a long run. I wanted to see this level hold, but it was invalidated with this spike. So the question is, what's going to happen now? Is it just a clearance and we're going down, or is it continuation forward? Now I want to cover both scenarios. If that's going to be a false break, another false break of this zone, we would want to see triple cycle down, double cycle up, which is currently happening. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and breakout. Then we can start looking for possible sells. What do I mean? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and if we manage to get from this area, break of the trend line and regain lower lows, then and only then we can discuss about the continuation. If that doesn't happen, there is a good chance euro going for one more high. Now, if it does climb to the next high, we are going to most likely to 122, then 124, maybe even 126. Why? Due to this double cycle down correction here. That's 125, 126. Oops. Okay. So that's here. Okay, if we, as I said, if we don't have it, we are going to climb higher, of course. Now, if we take a look on the levels from the crystal ball, we can see the same 120, 150, 122 zone, and then the top, the next to 125, slightly below. As per days, now we are on 11. That if the turnaround happens, it could happen now. If not, there is basically nothing to prevent it for one more bullish week until the 17th, 19th. And if that's not happening to hold the to call for tops, stop the bulls, we are going all the way to the end of the month and the beginning of the next month for possible reversals. And that's very important to understand that, because if the bearish setup, which currently should be triple cycle down, double cycle up, like I showed before, 1 hour or 4 hour chart, because the daily cycle and the weekly cycle are involved. If we just keep climbing, we have to pay attention to the dates. Okay, but it's not only the dates, it's also the setup. And currently, we cannot have convergence as for now. If we will have the convergences, of course, I will update that on a daily basis in the Traders Academy Club, in the live rooms. But basically, for now, we want to see a triple cycle. As simple as that. Okay. Now, pound dollar. Now, we talked about this pair, and, well, we are bullish here for long run. You remember my words for I don't know how long, right? Previous week, we were ready for possible sell setup for one more drop down, but for that, we wanted to see the break of the trend line, which never happened. And as long as it doesn't happen, in very simple words, it means that the bulls hold the control. That was a very impressive rally, which we've had here. And it was running and still does run according to the expectations of the CPI. Expectations of CPI are expectations for the future rates decisions. If the CPI keep growing, the central bank will have to go and increase the rate. And from that very moment, the bulls take the control. And this is what we've had in the previous week, basically. So we do need to pay attention to the numbers we published on the CPI. Anything below 2.8 or even 2.7 could be considered and treated by the traders as a negative sign, as a failure, that the central bank would be able to increase the rates, and from there the pound dollar can go for a dive down. If it's climbing, our next target's 132, 34, 36, or even 37 zone. So we do stay bullish as long as we don't have trendline breakout and lower lows created. What do I mean by lower lows created? The setup could go and, let's say, create something like that for us before the news. That could be the reversal change. So a false break, lower lows, that could be a reversal change for the future sells. But currently, as long as it didn't happen and the news did not come negative, we remain in a bullish view. Okay, simple. Let's continue. Next one is the cross euro pound. Make it simple. As long as this top holds, we are after sales. That's all. Targets that we would be aiming for sell setups would be, first of all, the triple cycle here. And that's 090. The 091 was taken, right? So 090 next. Then we have the 38.2 here. That's 089. And then we have this triple cycle. That could take us... well, it's not bad to dream, right? So let's say... it's too early to discuss about it, but if it happens, we are going here for a dive, maybe up down to 1000 pips. So we shall see how it's actually happening. All the bearish view is relevant as long as this top holds, because if we cross above that, we are going to 095, 097 zone. Okay, so be careful. Sell rallies. Don't blindly sell. Sell rallies in two waves and breakouts. Don't try to be heroes. Don't try to make hero calls. As per levels, we have this one. We have this one. On the 4-hour chart, looking for the sells. We have the tunnel, not far, like for 70 pips zone. So let's see how it holds. By the way, you see the top here, 29. This top was created on when? Check on the bottom of the indicator of the date, 29. Statistics many times, of course not always, but many times give us in advance the ability to call for top and bottom that we want to trade from. As simple as that. Alright, let's continue, guys. By the way, guys, the news from Britain this week could affect the euro pound, of course, all the rest of the pound pairs, which I want to discuss now. Pound yen, my view wasn't remain bullish, and it will remain bullish as long as we hold this range. As long as we are above, for me it's only after buys. Very simple. And I would not be surprised to see that on the top again here, and then 150, 151. If we break below the bottom of the range and hold close and hold below, for me it's a warning signs to let it go and then to reanalyze. As long as we are not there, I am bullish. Pound franc, another pair that we have been talking about. As long as it holds this bottom, we are after buys. My next targets would be here on that important zone of 128, and from there I want to see the gap getting closed. 133. Break the gap, yeah. Pound Kiwi, that was our setup, you remember, guys, from previously. Oh, where are the lines? Here. And basically the idea was here very simple. While we are above the channel, we are bullish, and it's going pretty nice, and my view remains the same as long as we are above the channel. Now we have a trend line as well, this one. So while it's holding and protecting, we are bullish, and my plan does not change here. That definitely could be the next destination. And of course we have here the gap that's still to be considered as a final target for the rally. So stay bullish as long as the news didn't change nothing for us. Pound CAD, I would not trade that. I don't have setup for that currently. Same with Pound Aussie, that for me is not really readable. So these two I prefer to leave alone. Yeah, I want to see some bullish expectation, but is it really good? No. Dollar yen. Now dollar yen, I don't even know how to describe that. It broke the last lows. Technically it should continue all the way lower. We have these levels of the cycle. So I would say here, as long as we don't have a close above 109 again, it's mainly bearish, and I would expect then the next levels, which is 105, 104. If we false break here, that could be considered as a as bottom found, right? And like kind of a triple cycle here. So if we close above again, gain the momentum, double wave retrace and breakout, I would switch to buys. But as for now, for me, there is not a bad chance. Of course, it's not a warranty, but not a bad chance we are after lower levels. Euro yen, still inside the range, still both directions tradable, so I don't have a real clear view here. Both buys and sells are possible. This is a megaphone. It can easily crush here. It can easily climb towards 132, 134, 136. Nothing clear. Aussie franc is getting interesting big time, and we have triangle here. Break to any of the directions and hold out of the breakout should lead us for the continuation. Break down and we can expect it to reach the 0.75 area. Break above and we can climb even towards 0.82. So of course I prefer to the buys direction. Let's see how it goes. Dollar franc, bouncing again from the support. I would not be surprised if we are about to continue lower. Watch out for the rates in the Swiss, because any bullish expectations for a cut currently or on the coming period, we are going to see that pair continue lower, and there is a good chance we are going to see 092, 091, 090, maybe even the previous important zone on the here 086. So stay tuned here, and as long as we don't close above this area here, any opportunity should be considered as a sell opportunity. Any rally should be considered as a sell opportunity. And as per levels, we have here some good levels to watch for trade from, right? If we get closer, that's from daily channel, could be fantastic. Okay, next one. Now New Zealandian dollar. Nah, as for now I leave it alone. Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar, I think we can climb higher to 082 or even higher, as long as we don't have invalidation. As for now, the invalidation zone is here. Where's my level? Where is my level? Here. Okay. Now, again, technically what's happening, we are in corrective cycle of this double, right? So we can expect it to climb higher towards 38.2. That means 084. So for us, we want to go buy as long as we don't have a break-in below the most important level and the trend line. Every drop down is considered as a buy opportunity. Yep, we have a divergence developing. It will have the impact, but as for now, as long as we don't have the convergence, which means lower lows, every drop down is a opportunity for a buy. Or we alternatively, if we don't have convergence, we have triple cycle down, double cycle up, and a breakout. In that case, we call it top and we are looking for sells. Let's continue, guys. Aussie Kiwi still for 113. Don't have any changes for now. Mainly bullish. Yep, it can dance in the range here, it can drop lower, but for us, no signs to stop at this stage. If there will be changes, of course, we're gonna cover that in the live trading room. As for now, there is nothing to change here. So 113 is our target, most likely. Cat franc, every drop down is considered as a buy opportunity. We have this range. And if we hold here, well, it's pretty ugly, right? As long as we hold here and we hold the trend line, and we don't have any lower lows to be triggered or triple double, which means 1 2 3 1 2 and breakout, we remain bullish, and this pair could climb all the way towards 082, 084, easy. So keep an eye here, guys. That should be very interesting opportunity. Cat franc. Okay, let's continue. All right, where is the next one? Okay, now this one is very interesting. That's euro versus the Kiwi. What this pair did was to break previous highs. Now what we want to see by ideal is now the break of this low. If it does, we're going to look to sell rallies. If that's the current top and it's holding, that's our zone, our lows for the convergence to be created. If that happens, we are going to trade this cycle, this triple cycle, and we're going to aim the 50% retrace, and then we're going to aim the 38.2 of this cycle, which means tons of potential pips. If we break through and continue, that could be the beginning of 167 and maybe even 170, 171 zone. So stay tuned for this pair, very interesting for sure. We have classical levels here to trade with, daily and 4-hour chart, really great levels to trade and to look for the setups. So we watch that. So we need convergence and then we sell rallies, right? For this pair. Okay, next one on my list. Well, there are many interesting things like, well, CAD yen, you know what, let's cover that. I'm still bullish here, and I believe we are going up here, and well, that's like 100, 200 more points, or slightly more. We have this correction area, we have expansion for duplication. Check this out, guys. Do you see that? How beautiful? And this is duplication. So our first target is here, like 200 pips above. Our next target is 94.95, and there is an amazing chance we are going there. So stay bullish. This pair is great, looks great, and as long as we don't have any invalidation, which for us would be holding this low here, okay, we are after buys. So every drop down is considered as a buy opportunity. As simple as that. Okay. There are several more interesting things forming, but I'm not quite convinced about them yet, so I want to see how the week starts. And the one that we should be care about now is the gold. Completed the triple cycle. Here, 1, 2, 3, and here, 1, 2, 3. Both levels we wanted reached. Break below this low here, and we can start looking to sell rallies. Short term, of course, because for invest we can climb higher. Same with silver. That does for us now the convergential principle, lower low. So sell rallies, basically. As long as this top holds, we are after short corrective cycles for sell. As long as the top holds, because break above the top, we can climb higher. Currently, I believe there is a good chance we are going to 50 of this triple, which is 17.15, and there is a good chance to 38.2 of this double, which is 16.70. Indices, well, currently I don't have a read, so I would avoid it. The only one I want to pay attention to is Nasdaq, that can break another highs and take us to 6100 or 6200s, where I believe it will have a top called. I don't have current read. We all see what happens with Mother Nature. We all know the sensitivity of the geopolitical conditions. That's the low to be broken for convergence. If it is broken, sell rallies with full power versus this top. That's an amazing opportunity. But as long as it doesn't break here below, it can easily climb towards 6100 or even 6200 there. Oil. Again, no change on the view. Where has it disappeared? Here. No change on my view. Only rallies for long term. For short term, we can even get lower lows. That's more than fine. For us, every 2 waves down, and breakout, buy opportunity. Every 2 waves. And the previous week, we had it beautifully here. See that? It's a really classical setup. Breakout, small protection below, and we got a 1 to 2 risk reward. Every 2 waves down, we are considering as a buy opportunity. That's with commodities, with risk reward plan, with weekly direction. That's the best way to trade. As simple as that. So that's basically what we have for this week, guys. Cat pairs rock, and I believe we should rock wisdom. And pound pairs as well. Pay close attention to them, and the franc pairs. That's the most interesting pairs this week. Cat pairs, pound pairs, franc pairs. That's what I believe we're gonna expect some good movements. And of course, pay attention to any geopolitical news and the impact of the hurricanes on the economy, which would probably start to be little clearer after these days. Normally, such events don't really change nothing for the immediate term, the short term. For long term, it could. Costs there and all the lives lost and renovation financing that is required is unbelievable. They're already talking about increasing the ceiling. We all know what it means. So that's all for now. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks a lot for your time. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you do like what we do, and if you did enjoy the weekly review, please leave your feedback, your comment. Your feedback, my motivation, as simple as that. Click the like button, of course, if you enjoyed. You can share it with anyone who you think can have a good benefit by watching my videos. And I invite you, if you are not a member yet, to my Traders Academy Club, where we do day by day a trading based on the cycle direction. Simple, clear, clean, followed by the report. I would be very clear and clean saying that this place you don't want to miss. Traders Academy Club. My link is below the video. You can find there the invitation. And I hope to see you inside and keep helping you on a daily basis in my live trading rooms. Thanks a lot for your time watching this video, and I wish you best. Enjoy your week and stay safe.